So Brian McTaggart, MLB.com, does a wonderful job. His story up at MLB.com, it has questions of who will be the manager, how will Dana Brown reshape things as the GM, which free agents could return, which players will get contract extensions, who will be the Astros starting center fielder in 2024. But the first nugget, and the one that's really the sticking point here, is in the first question of who will be the manager in 2024. And I'll just read it. It's not very long for you here. It says Baker, who led the Astros to 2 World Series appearances in 4 years, winning his only championship in 2022, is likely headed into retirement. The Astros will look to get younger in the managerial role in what will be an attractive job. Dana Brown, who was hired as GM before spring training, will have a say in who the manager is in the manager's chair. But owner Jim Crane and Jeff Bagwell, the team's senior advisor to ownership and baseball operations, will oversee the finding of the Astros' next skipper.
I hate it. That's a nightmare to me.
It is a nightmare.
It should be Dana Brown and Jim Crane making this decision together with nobody else. Or
it should be Dana Brown handling the entire process and going to Jim and saying, this is who I want to hire.
Ideally, but we know that that's just not the type of owner that Jim Crane is.
Yeah.
But at the very least, a bare minimum, it should be the two of them. I don't mind having an advisor who gives suggestions, but like the reason the Texans have a GM that they have that not everybody's on board with is because other people got involved that shouldn't have been involved.
Yeah.
I don't want that to end up being the same story with the Astros for the manager.
What you're saying is that Jeff Bagwell is the Texans' Jack Easterby. I'm not even trying to be rude about it. It's the truth.
It kind of is. He has a stranglehold on the organization in a way that he shouldn't. So it's kind of true.
Now, Jim operates differently than the Texans did.
Right.
Obviously. From everything that I know is that Jim Crane, if you're buddies with him, you're good. So like that's why Jeff Bagwell has the voice that he does. He is buddies with Jim Crane. He's been buddies with Jim Crane.
Yeah, we need to get you in there more.
There's nothing wrong with having these former players around and having them as, guys that you can bounce ideas off of or talk to or have young players talk to and whatnot. Like Jeff Bagwell, his baseball knowledge is phenomenal as a former player.
Right.
But when it comes to making the decisions or being part of the decision-making process, we've already seen it. He has no business doing it. Abreu, Montero, Michael Brantley, all failures, all part of his resume of having some sort of influence in this team. And when you are making the most important decision of who's running the clubhouse every single day, and you have a general manager who has come in, gotten the job for the first time in his career, and has a great scouting background, has all these, you've handcuffed him already. And I feel bad for Dana Brown. You have handcuffed him as a general manager to where he might have a list of guys that he's worked with in Atlanta, Toronto, wherever it might be, qualified young guys, whatever it could be in this game, and it could not matter. Because my pick, I'm going to pick Brad Osmus. I'm going to say right now, Brad Osmus, the man who almost got the GM job last year, is going to end up getting the damn managerial job because he and Jeff Bagwell are like this. And I think it's disgusting. And if that's the outcome, that really shows to me that, yes, Jeff Bagwell is their Jack Easterby.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't here for the entirety of Brad Osmus's tenure as a player, obviously. But correct me if I'm wrong. What he's done as a manager in this league has been very, at times, anti-Astros and anti-Houston. So he should kind of be an enemy of the city, should he not?
Yeah.
At this point, very
he was
clearly
the heartthrob. The ladies loved him when he was here playing.
Yeah, that's who my wife wants. I'm pretty sure if he comes here, she's going to leave me for Brad Osmus. It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
There's two guys in the world three guys actually. It's Ryan Tannehill, but he already has a wife, so that's not happening. It's Garth Brooks. She would leave me for Garth Brooks in a heartbeat.
I'd leave my wife for Garth Brooks. Have you seen how much money that man makes?
Well, and he has. I get it. I think I'd be the most understanding of that one.
As long as he serenades me every single night.
Yeah. And then Brad Osmus. Actually, there's a fourth. It's John Dutton, but that's a fictional character from the TV show Yellowstone. I'm realizing now she likes older guys. What the hell is going on? But I look nothing, sound nothing, or act nothing like any of these guys.
So she's a gilf lover.
She is. She has become more attracted to me the older I get. Maybe I need to go gray and do what is the touch of gray in the hair?
Just for Men touch of gray.
I do. I've joked around for like 3 years that I'm gonna go as John Dutton, dress up as John Dutton for Halloween,
Well, you
just
have
so she could be attracted to me again. So or Rip, she likes Rip too.
Rip was at the Texas A&M.
He was. I wanted to meet him. I wanted to ask me to take it, or I wanted to ask him to take me to the train station in more than one way. If you know what I mean.
I'm getting a little uncomfortable with this segment.
Brad Osmus would be a nightmare. This is what I would like if Dana Brown did have a list. Me personally, because this roster as it is constructed and as the vision that Dana Brown might have for it and what he wants to do, I would love a young up and coming guy that would be on his list that he's worked with before. That would be my preference. I'm not in the business of the Brad Osmuses, the Buck Showalters of the world.
No,
I don't want another retread.
No.
That's why I'm fine with Joe Espada, because he's been here. I think he'd have some fresh ideas as a manager, but I want a young guy who has new ideas, who can come in and really start to apply some new methods as a manager. That's more attractive to me than any other option.
I think the Espada one is one that's always been looming. I don't know if it's going to be a thing. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that overall, those are the kind of names that you mentioned that guy would get his first chance to do it here. As long as it's somebody that, again, and it's not to be an ageist, they get back to a younger mind who's more into the numbers and more into the things that I think are important to building up, getting back to what made them who they are. I mean, look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again today. If they could bring back AJ Hinch, do it today, do it tomorrow, do it, and don't even think about it.
Yeah.
If that was a realistic possibility, that would be who you bring
He's
back.
the only retread that I'd feel good about.
Yeah, get somebody that is within the reach of, or within that kind of realm, that knows it all and wants to work it all, and it's important to him.